Mga idol at kabayan, breaking news! Grabe mga kabayan, National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, 60% pag-aari ng mga Pilipino, tapos 40% pag-aari ng China. Pero napag-alamang Chinese national ang chairman nito. Ang nakababahala dito mga kabayan, na-discover ng mambabatas natin na dalawa sa mga Chinese nationals ang nagre-report pa ng direkta sa Chinese Communist Party. Dagdag pa dito, ayon sa Kamara, kanilang napag-alaman sa website ng Chinese Belt and Road Initiative ng China, sila daw ang may karapatan na patakbuhin ang Philippine grid. Sino kaya ang mga traidor na nasa likod nito? CCG5901 umalis na malapit sa Zambales. Ito ay nasa bandang Baho de Masinloc na matapos ang walang tigil na paghamon ng BRP Cabra sa illegal na pagpapatrol malapit sa kalupaan ng Pilipinas. China posibleng nagalit sa Pilipinas. Siyam na Chinese Coast Guard ang ipinakalat sa West Philippine Sea. 4 sa gawing Baho de Masinloc, 3 sa bandang Busuanga, 2 naman malapit sa Palawan. BRP Cabra at BRP-3 sa Magbanwa posibleng magsasama para bantayan ang karagatan ng West Philippine Sea. Matapos ang walang tigil na paghamon ng Philippine Coast Guard BRP Cabra sa China Coast Guard 5901 malapit sa kalupaan ng Pilipinas, umatras na ang pinakamalaking barko ng China, ang The Monster, matapos ang halos 3 araw na pamamalagit ito sa pagitan ng Baho de Masinloc at Zambales. Ito ang patunay na kapag naninindigan tayo at ipinakita natin na hindi tayo yuyoko sa China, atras din sila. Ipinakita ng Philippine Coast Guard ang video na isa sa mga helikopter ng People's Liberation Army Navy ang lumipa habang pagtagisan ito sa China Coast Guard 5901. Ginagamit na ng China ang kanilang puwersang militar upang sindakin tayo. Pero hindi uubra yan sa mga Pilipino. Lalo't alam ng mga tauhan ng Philippine Coast Guard na kahit anuman ang mangyari, nasa tama tayo. Mali ang mga Chino. Breaking news mga kabayan, ayon sa impormasyong ibinahagi ni Ray Powell, nasa siyam na China Coast Guard ang kasalukuyang nasa loob ng West Philippine Sea. Ito ang China Coast Guard 3304, 5901, 3502, 3103, 3305, 3302, 3106, 21559 at 5202. 4 na China Coast Guard ang nasa gawing Baho de Masinloc, 3 sa bandang karagatang malapit sa Busuanga at 2 naman ang nasa bahagi malapit sa Palawan. Sa kasalukuyan, ayon sa datos na ating nakalap sa marinetraffic.com, BRP Cabra lang ang ating namataang nakabantay sa gawing Zambales upang manmanan ang mga barko ng China Coast Guard. Palabas naman sa Manila Bay ang BRP-3 sa Magbanwa, MRRV 9701 na posibleng maging katuwang o backup ng BRP Cabra. Pero sa gawing Busuanga at Palawan, wala pa tayong nakikitang mga barko ng Pilipinas na nagmamatsyag sa mga kilos ng mga barko ng China Coast Guard sa loob ng West Philippine Sea. Sa ibang balita naman, alam niyo ba na isang Chinese ang chairman ng National Grid Corporation of the Philippines o Ngcp? Pinaiimbestiga ng mambabatas ng Pilipinas ang posibleng paglabag ng National Grid Corporation of the Philippines sa batas ng bansa. Ang National Grid Corporation of the Philippines ay 60% pag-aari ng Energy Grid of the Philippines at 40% naman ng State Grid Corporation ng China. Itinanggi ng National Grid Corporation of the Philippines na ito ay kinukontrol ng State Grid Corporation ng China at wala raw itong mga executive na Chinese national. Pero ayon sa listahan ng Board of Director ng National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, Chinese national ang chairman nito at 3 pang Chinese nationals ang kabilang sa mga direktor dito. Ayon kay Representative Salceda, bawal ito sa batas ng Pilipinas. Ayon sa anti-dummy law, ipinagbabawal ang mga banyaga na makibahagi sa anumang pamamahala, operasyon, pangangasiwa o pagkontrol ng isang entity na nakikibahagi sa isang nasyonalisado o bahagyang nasyonalisadong aktibidad. Nabisto rin sa website ng China Belt and Road Initiative na sinabi nito na ang China ang may karapatan para patakbuhin ang Philippine Grid.
Yung SGCC owns 40%. Since under the PSA, anything above 40 should be owned by a Filipino. Since SGP is listed, there should be no foreign ownership of SGP at all. So now, next, there is a 7.8%. Can you show the 7.8? Okay, next. Well, the Ngcp has denied that it is controlled by the State Grid Corporation of China, that it has no executive that are Chinese national. Each chairman is not Chinese, and that's against the law. A top official and this committee or some other committees, because at a certain point next week, the speaker would like to transfer this to Quinta for Murang Kuryente. A top official of the SJC, despite Synergy Grid of the Philippines supposedly being a larger shareholder than the State Grid Corporation of China, because SGP owns 60% and should be 100% Filipino, but it's not. Next. Mahuhuli ko kayo. As a public utility under public as amended, only 40% of its equity can be owned by foreigners. 40% of the NGCP is already owned by the State Grid of China. The other 60% is shared by Monte Oro and Calaca, both Filipino companies, which are in turn layered by 2 more layers of Filipino companies. Next. When corporation is under layers of intervening corporations, the Supreme Court, under Justice Presbytero, the father of our former Speaker, and now the chairman of the Committee on Energy, says the grandfather rule applies. We opine that we must look into the citizenship of individual stockholders, natural persons of that investor corporation, in order to determine if the constitutional and statutory restrictions are complied with. If the shares of stock of the immediate investor corporation is in turn held and controlled by another corporation, then we must look into the citizenship of the individual stockholders. Nothing has been clearer than ever before. And it is enunciated by the father of our former Speaker, LAV. As a corollary, if the 60-40 Filipino to foreign equity ratio is apparently met by subject or investing corporation, a resort to the grandfather is necessarily, if that exists, as to the locus of the beneficial ownership and control. In this case, a further investigation as to the nationality and personalities, then I guess it redounds to Congress, given its plenary powers to investigate and to inquire that laws are being followed. So this is a resolution under nickel mining and development, Tesoro mining, etc. in 2015. Next. Some of the sources of data to NGCP's ownership control. Each chairman is from NGCC, despite the SGP being supposedly owning 60% of it. So they gave it to the 40%. Official sources from the Chinese government suggest an active control and management. We look at all the papers of the Politburo and it's there. Unbelievable. They keep writing it. So SGP has 2 additional layers of subsidiaries for its indirect ownership over NGCP. Next. The board of directors of the NGCP is here. Xu Guangchao. And at a certain point, once we're given a mandate under Quinta, we will definitely ask for his presence to explain his role. There's no other way. Otherwise, para saan pa, tigilan na natin itong mga batas na to. Let's close down Congress. Next. The official website of the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative says the state grid gained the right to run the Philippine grid. It's their own words. Next. An official paper by the 2 top officials of NGCC, both CCP officials, is also outlined. My God, member pa ng Communist Party of the Philippines. You read it, of China, Communist Party of the China. You read it. SGID foreign-based team of senior managers is deeply involved in the decision-making for major operating matters of overseas holding companies such as strategic planning, business plans, financial budget, senior management, putting the advanced management concept and excellent technical experience of NGCC, well, that should be good, into effect in the development, planning, and daily work of the overseas operation. The SGID headquarters has set up overseas operations management. That is from their own mouth. Including management appointments and removals. So it's not just the hiring, but the firing. Next. Leading the Beltway, again, if you read this, it clearly shows. This is, if you want to source, this is the paper. Just, marunong ka kasi mag-inchik eh. Next. So the foreign shareholders of SGP, this is where one of the violations appear. And that is why there was this scrummage for localizing the ownership of SGP for the past 2 weeks. That's why the price cap goes up, because the foreigners have to sell. They need to localize. So as you can see, percentage of total foreign ownership of SGP is 7.48%. That is based on the PSE records. This is clearly a violation.
Laban Pinas.